So are the DMRs in Battlefield 6 as bad as people are making them out to be? And this video is going to discuss that because I'm going to be perfectly honest with you when I say DMR category inside Battlefield is the most fun category to play. In my personal opinion, I like to be that support player, and ever since Battlefield 4 when we could play DMRs in every class and carbines as well, it allowed players to kind of pick from different categories of weapons, and the DMR category just felt the most unique to me, especially playing support all the time, because it's probably the best weapon category to play support with, right? If you land a couple of shots, you don't get a kill, your teammates could easily finish it up, or if you're really good and you want to land your shots perfectly at range, then you're going to get some pretty insane kills as well. It offers a little bit more versatility than what we get with a standard sniper rifle, of course, because you can fire a little bit quicker, and obviously they're meant to be used for medium to long range, and that is kind of the range I feel like I operate personally the best in. So that is why I like DMRs, and obviously I'd imagine a lot of people also like to play this category of weapon as well. And I had a few comments in my DMR video where people were saying that the amount of damage output of these DMRs is not great, right? It's not good whatsoever. The guns feel like they take too many headshots. So what I did is I went into the firing range and I tested the damage of both of these weapons. And we tested the closest dummy and the farthest dummy, just to try and get a feel for if the damage drops off over range, which we do know happens in Battlefield. And when it comes to marksman rifles, I believe there's only one damage drop off. That's kind of been the case for previous games, and in this case, with how far we can actually test with the dummies, it seems to be the exact same idea as well. And when it comes to the EMR, at the closest possible range, we're getting a 38 damage to the chest and 50 damage to the head. You're also getting 38 damage to the limbs as well. Then when you go to the farthest possible dummy, we're getting 33 damage to the chest and limbs, and then 45 damage to the head. Now I have all these numbers on screen as well. And what that means is, at the closest possible range, if you're landing all limb shots or all body shots, for example, you're going to get a 3-shot kill, right? Then if you land one headshot, you're going to need 1 or 2 body shots to get the kill, right? Depending on whether the enemy's taking damage or not, or 2 headshots, and that's at super close range. When you get to the farthest possible range, you're pretty much always going to be getting a 3-shot kill, but if you land all body shots, it's going to be a 4-shot kill. Now, I think that's where the problem comes with this gun, right? So the EMR is the first marksman rifle you unlock, and the one that people obviously are going to get their hands on the most. And if it's going to be a 4-shot kill at range, and even a 3-shot kill if you're landing headshots, and even if you land all headshots at range, it's still a 3-shot kill. That's where it goes a bit crazy. So in my opinion, the EMR does need a slight adjustment here, where it's a guaranteed 3-shot body shot at range and also a guaranteed 2-shot headshot at range. I think that's where the kind of baseline for marksman rifles need to come in. Obviously, there's more marksman rifles to come to this game, but I feel like the EMR might be very underpowered in this case, and that's why people feel like this gun doesn't feel as good as previous games. And we'll get on into that in just a moment as well, because I am going to compare it to the Battlefield 4 EMR. But when we're talking about the SVK next, the SVK is the better marksman rifle of the two, if I'll be honest with you. Now, the close range damage for chest shot and limbs is 60. So again, if you land 2 shots to the limbs or body, you're going to get a kill. It's actually more than a kill, essentially. You get 120 damage there. Then the headshot damage is 80, right? So you're going to get 80 to the head. So it's not a 1-shot kill, but it means you're always guaranteed to always get a 2-shot kill. And if the enemy's taking any slight amount of damage from most other weapons, even one single bullet, 1 headshot's enough to kill an enemy. So it's way more forgiving than the EMR. Is just a better weapon overall with the way the damage values and the damage numbers actually work. Then when it comes to the chest damage at far range, it's 50 to the chest, 50 to the limbs as well. So again, a guaranteed 2-shot kill at range. And then when it comes to headshot damage, it's 67. Again, a guaranteed 2-shot headshot, or if you mix in any type of shots on the enemy at range, is a 2-shot kill regardless. So this is basically just a 2-shot kill weapon. Doesn't matter how you hit the enemy, doesn't matter where you hit the enemy, and it only kind of differs if the enemy's already taken slight damage already. So going back to that EMR example, now what I actually want to do here is compare what we had with the previous EMR with Battlefield 4 to the EMR inside Battlefield 6. And this is the only guns that we can directly compare, of course. So that's why I do want to compare the EMR with itself from the previous title. Now, what we do have is the chest shot damage values at the closest range and at the farthest range. So when it comes to the new EMR, like I said, it's a 38 chest shot damage up close. Comparing that with the old EMR, it's 45 chest shot damage up close. Then the farthest chest shot range is 33 with the new EMR, and then with the old EMR, it's 38. So as you can see, with the old EMR, you're pretty much always guaranteed a 3-shot kill, and that's why it feels a lot better. But not also to mention that the fire rates play a part in this as well. So when it comes to the old EMR, we had 300 rounds per minute. Now with the new EMR, it's 257 rounds per minute, or so it states in game. So that's what I do want to compare. Now, another thing to also compare is bullet velocity, because that also plays a factor in how the guns actually feel when you're landing your shots. Now, the bullet velocity of the old EMR is 650. The new EMR is 900 bullet velocity. So the shots are going to feel like they connect a lot better with the new EMR. But regardless of that, the fire rate and the damage values of the previous EMR are a lot better. So you're going to be getting a much faster time to kill with the Battlefield 4 EMR. Now what I want to do is a quick comparison overall when it comes to the marksman rifle category, because in Battlefield 4, and we're on the sim.gg website at the moment because we used to use this to get damage values for Battlefield 4 weapons, and I don't know how accurate this is right now, but I think it's a decent enough comparison to make at the moment, because I don't actually have access to Battlefield 4 myself to go in and test all this stuff. But what I do want to say is I do think with the Battlefield 6 game, we're going to get a lot more variety in how the marksman rifles play, and I think they'll all be a lot more unique than what we had inside Battlefield 4. Now, saying that, what I want to show you here is we've got 6 of the marksman rifles from Battlefield 4. We've got the EMR, the Ace 53, SKS, MK11 mod, the Scar HSV, and the QBU 88. And what we're going to do is scroll down to the actual values here. We can see the damage values, which are right here. Most of them were very, very similar and very close to each other. Also, the fire rates were very similar. They were all around 300 rounds per minute, by the way. And this goes for if you compared any of the other marksman rifles as well. I kind of went through the whole list, but I can only compare 6 of them at the moment. And as you can see, all of them sit around the same when it comes to damage values. They all sit within the 30s here. When it comes to the rate of fires, they all sit within around 300. Some are obviously below, some are slightly above as well. And the bullet velocities are again pretty low as well. Now, what I want to actually state here is when it comes to comparing just the 2 marksman rifles that we have within Battlefield 6, we've actually got a ton of variety here. We've got different bullet velocity values, where the SVK has slower bullet velocity than the EMR by quite a substantial amount, actually. Then we also have different damage values, where SVK has tons of damage. It's got a 2-shot kill potential, and the fire rate is literally half of the EMR. So I think we're going to get tons more variety in terms of marksman rifles. Is the marksman rifles in Battlefield 4 better technically than Battlefield 6? Well, the EMR is better in Battlefield 4. So if you're only comparing that single one weapon, then of course. But I think, like I said, we're going to get more variety in terms of what we can actually get with a marksman rifle inside Battlefield 6, and that is what I'm most looking forward to. So I don't necessarily think the previous marksman rifles were better. I just think one particular gun is underpowered, and they can easily fix that by maybe adjusting the damage values kind of plus or minus 5 here and there. And I think that would change this gun significantly and make it feel a lot more like the previous EMR that we're used to. So that's probably what people are experiencing inside Battlefield 6 at the moment when it comes to the marksman rifle category of weapons. But like I said, hopefully we get tons more variety. I could be wrong here depending on how many marksman rifles are actually coming to the game, but hopefully they're all different and it's a bit more varied than what we had in Battlefield 4, because as I've just shown you, those stats are very, very similar, and that's 6 of the marksman rifles from Battlefield 4 compared. And if you enjoyed this video and learned something new, by the way, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, as we'll be going more in depth in terms of comparisons on marksman rifles and every other weapon as well within Battlefield 6 when it does launch. And thank you very much for watching.